Hey guys, Rob Reviews here, bringing you another awesome review for another awesome TV show. This one we're going to be taking a look at Game of Thrones, Season 1, Episode 3. This is called Lord Snow. So of course we did the first two episodes, so we got to do the third one. Hoping to have this season done maybe by the end of the week if I can. If I release like 3 or 4 videos a day, hopefully I can do that. So let's just go through the plot. I'll kind of briefly go through it, although there's things I'm kind of like a bit fuzzy on this episode, so if I miss out some details, I do really apologise. So first of all, we have the royal thing with King's Landing. We'll start with King's Landing first and talk about King's Landing. We have the thing with Eddard Stark, of course, or Ned, attending the meeting at King's Landing with a small council. Obviously, he encounters Jaime in the throne room. Jaime is unhappy that Eddard, sort of judges him and because he killed the Mad King, and Eddard's not really... he's quite noble, and he doesn't really like the fact that Jaime did that. Then Ned eventually meets like Baelish, and he meets Grand Maester Pycelle and some other people, and of course Renly as well, who's the Master of Laws, and of course Varys, who is the Master of Whisperers. We have Varys telling them about the troubles on the King's Road and all that. Talking about the butcher's boy as well. Ned is stunned to learn that the crown is actually 6 million dragons in debt. Dragons, whatever it is, which is basically the currency there. It's in debt, and King Robert basically made it worse. And then we have the thing with Queen Cersei talking to Joffrey about the incident on the river. She tells him, the fact that anyone who wasn't us is an enemy, kind of thing, and talking about him being, he's probably going to be king one day, and talking about that and how he's going to betroth Sansa. Arya and Sansa still kind of like pissy with each other over the direwolf situation. But Eddard kind of tells her that she can't really practice her sword needle because she has to be kind of like ladylike. We have Catelyn with Sir Roderick. They basically arrive at King's Landing, leaving Bran, of course, over there, back at thingy. Catelyn is angered by the way that that they've been treated, and she obviously thinks with this whole letter from last thing, asked Littlefinger to aid in finding the people who had tried to have Bran killed, and Littlefinger answers quickly, saying that the dagger is actually Tyrion Lannister's. Littlefinger then meets Ned, and of course Ned gets really pissy at him and threatens him after he's obviously, because Ned knows he's a sneaky little bastard. We have the Raven arriving at King's Landing with Bran's recovery. So Cersei thinks that this will expose their recovery, but Jaime obviously comforts her in a funny little way. And then we have Robert swapping old stories with Barristan and Selmy. And then talking about the whole Mad King thing with Jaime, and he says, what was the last, what did he say? And he said, he said the last thing, he said for hours, burn them all. And then we have Ned, who hired Syrio Forel, the former First Sword of Braavos, to actually begin training Arya in the river dance. Then in the north, we have Winterfell, we have Bran awaking, and we have old Nan and stuff talking to him, and she tells him stories about the White Walkers and all that. It was pretty cool. We have obviously Rob paying a visit to Bran, asking if it's true where he'll never walk again, and obviously he said this is so, and Bran says he'd rather be dead. And then at the Wall, this is probably a big part, we have the whole thing with Jon meeting Sir Rasta Thorne and all that, starting his training, meeting Jeor Mormont as well, who's the leader, who's the Lord Commander. Tyrion is there as well, and he notes, Tyrion's just there talking, taking a visit, and he talks to Jeor Mormont. Then we have Benjen Stark meeting Jon at the top of the Wall, tells him he's going on a raging hunt in the Haunted Forest. He refuses to take Jon with him, telling him he's not ready. Benjen basically says farewell and heads off north of the Wall. Weird. Then later on we have Tyrion discussing the whole thing with talking about the wildlings and everything. And then I think Tyrion departs. Then he departs from the thing to go to King's Landing. And then across the Narrow Sea, we have the whole thing with Daenerys. Commands the thingy to halt. Varys does not take well to being commanded and threatens his sister, and then he's actually strangled by Rankero, or whatever the heck his name is, a Dothraki warrior who strangles him on the thing. And then we have Jorah Mormont talking to him, saying he's a bit like a Westerosi, and they basically have a conversation until they reach the Vaes Dothrak, which is like a sacred sort of city to the Dothraki. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I kind of briefly went over the Narasi stuff, but yeah, really interesting episode. I did really enjoy this one. However, I don't think it was like too intense. It wasn't really too, yeah. It was a tiny bit slow for me, so I'm not going to say it's an amazing episode. Well, I should have said it's an amazing episode. I would say it's a pretty standard episode. It wasn't too good. It wasn't like amazing, but it was still pretty intense. I'm loving the drama, so I'd say it is a good 7 out of 10. Not very high, I know, but a 7 out of 10. I think it deserves that. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.